Hi, I'm Lauren, a mom, former teacher, turned children's book author, and your host who joins special guests each episode as we share our top kid-lit picks for sparking hard conversations the easy way. Yep, that means everything from tackling bullying and out-of-control anger to celebrating diversity, inclusion, and leading with kindness, plus so much more. My whole mission of my own children's book series, Blooming Rose, is to provide social and emotional support tools for in and out of the classroom, and this podcast is my way to expand that mission even further. So stay tuned as we dive into this week's topic on the Blooming Books podcast. Hello, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Blooming Books podcast about navigating friendships. Our special guests today are two of my favorite teachers in the game right now. They bring fun, energy, and excitement into their classrooms every day. They are teacher besties, Shana Boettcher and Blair, Ganz. Ladies, welcome to the show, and thanks so much for joining us.
Hello.
Hey. Happy to be here.
Yes.
So, on the topic of friendship, can you tell me a little bit about your friendship and the grades you teach? I mean, don't we all need a work bestie, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I teach third grade. This is my 10th year here at the school, but my 4th year as a third grade teacher.
Yes, and I teach first grade, and this is my 3rd year here, and I absolutely love it. I came here not knowing many people, and then I just met this crazy girl down the hallway, and I was scared of her at first. Like, I was terrified. And we just started talking, and now it clicks, and I'm in her room every morning, and sometimes not doing my planning, and I'm in her room. Like,
I remember I think when I was teaching, just kind of sitting you find your people to sit with in the back row of the faculty meetings, and you're just like passing notes back and forth like your first graders would do, you know?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We
get in trouble at meetings.
Yeah, we're not allowed to sit together at meetings sometimes.
I get that.
So we just whisper over the people they try to separate us with.
Okay, so I like to start with some silly and random rapid-fire questions just to kind of lighten the mood. Shana, let's start with you. One, what are you drinking right now, or what is your go-to? Are you a Stanley girly?
Yeah, so I'm an adult toddler, and I need a sippy cup because I spill. But yes, I have water in my Stanley, and then I have a very long evening. So I have some Clean Simple Eats energy drink.
Oh, nice.
But Dr. Pepper Zero is my go-to also.
Yeah.
Gotta have that caffeine.
I don't think I've tried the zero.
Oh, I do zero everything.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper, Big Red, Sprite, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's
zeros
good.
are my go-to.
It's a balance, you know? You got your water, you hydrate, and your caffeine.
You're like the drink goblin.
I am. Like, I thought about buying one of those. They make like a portable,
The little carrier.
yeah, the little drink carrier. And I'm like, oh, is that bad if I get my own personal drink carrier to carry all my drinks with me?
You need it, though, because
Well, if you get one, I need one,
not
too.
the car.
Well, I just carry a backpack. And what's in my backpack is my purse, all of my drinks, and then my lunchbox with all of my food in it. So I carry a backpack not for papers, but for all of my food and drinks.
So I would sit by her at faculty meetings, too, if I was you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I get snacks.
I have the snacks.
I go to her room for snacks.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite guilty pleasure show, book, or podcast?
Okay, so I do all of them. Okay, so I'm an Office freak. Like The Office, one of my favorites. I quote it. I live by it.
Yes,
I watch all the reruns. I watch all the little clips that come up on Facebook. They have a podcast, The Office Ladies, really funny. Okay, so that's one of my podcasts on my shows. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. And then I'm stuck on This Is Us. I never watched it when it came out. Yes, and so that right now is my excuse for not doing the laundry.
Have you finished it yet?
No.
Oh God.
So many tears.
Yes, it's
So
one
many.
of those shows like you're not over
Yes.
it. Like when it ends, you're not going to be over it.
Yeah, it's like a relationship you
Yes.
weren't ready to end.
It's going to linger.
Yeah.
I'm barely starting season 3. So, and then I'm also a Colleen Hoover book fan.
A coho?
Yes.
A cohort, I think they call
Oh,
it.
is that what we are? Cohorts? Yes.
Yes.
So I when we were in San Antonio for the stock show, I got to catch up on grading and reading. So that was exciting. So I was looking for my next one to jump into.
Have you read Verity?
That was going to be my next one.
That's not a real topic that she usually dives into. It's usually like rom-com dramas or whatever. But oh my gosh, Verity, it's like a psychological thriller, and that's another one.
I love
Where
that
at
kind
the
of stuff.
have you read it? No.
No, not yet. That's on my list.
Gosh.
That
At
was
the end
going
of
to be my
it,
next one.
I was like, Mom, you need to read this because I need to talk this out with somebody. Like, you still don't really know what is going on. And then she released a 1 or 3 or more chapters after that. So I had to go find it. It's like on Reddit. Oh. So I had to go find the extra. And then I'm still like, well, that makes me even more confused. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, it's one of those that just keeps you thinking, but it's really good. And I love how she, like her writing style.
Yeah, and then anything true crime, of course.
Yes.
Good murder mystery, true crime. Trying to figure out how to kill my husband and get away with it.
I'll help you.
Yeah, watching exactly what not to do.
Well, my husband knows now that, like, if anything happens to me, I'm like, you're going to jail. Like, you need to figure out a way to go out of it. Because it's always the husband.
Right.
Yeah. They're going to arrest you. So you better figure out some good excuse, have a good alibi all the time.
Yeah.
So, and last question, are you the neat freak or the hot mess in your relationship? Because I feel like they always marry each other.
I put that I'm a messy neat freak.
That is so true for her.
I have my Pottery Barn moments, and then I have where my ADHD has kicked in, and you can't see my kitchen table.
Yeah.
Or my closet like throws up all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden I can't take it. I'm overwhelmed. My anxiety kicks in, and then my OCD kicks in, and then it's spotless Pottery Barn-esque home. So I'm crazy. It just goes by my mood. Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, where my husband's like a neat pile.
I'm trying to teach my husband the pile method.
I hate the piles.
He's just like a thrower, And I'm like, can you just throw it this in this direction and then throw this in this direction?
Oh yeah, my husband leaves his clothes just all over the floor, and I'm like, there's a basket right there. I mean, I know our pile's getting high, but you can just make it higher. Yeah, not on the ground.
Put it in that general vicinity.
Yeah.
Okay, Blair, your turn. What
Let's
is the last concert or performance you went to, or one that you would have wished you went to?
So I'm kind of like a homebody. So I would say the last one that I remember is probably Beyonce, and I was like right after after college, and that was like pretty amazing.
Yeah.
My college best friend took me, and I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Sure.
I've probably been to like the rodeo since then, but can I tell you exactly who? No. Absolutely not.
I brought my daughter to Pink recently, Coldplay, Garth Brooks. Yes. And now I'm realizing, like, when I wasn't going to concerts at her age. She's only 9 or 8, and she was even, like, 7, But they were, like, the $20 pop concerts, the alternative, grunge, those things. And, like, I'm setting her up for bankruptcy or disappointment because we're going to those big shows, like Beyonce
you're
and
going
stuff.
to all of our dream concerts.
So if, like, it's not the full theatrical 60,000 people experience, she's going to be like, oh, this is a concert?
No, I'm always so jealous of all the concerts y'all go to. I'm like,
we would love to be adopted.
By y'all.
Well,
Pink is coming back to Austin.
Well, just let us know when.
So I'm kind of debating on whether Avery's like, yes, we need to go again. So
how can
we
you
might
not
just go again.
Pass on
we might.
Yes.
I mean, it's once in a lifetime, and now twice in a lifetime experience.
Absolutely.
So. Pink was so good. I mean, she does the hanging and flying. She is so fast when she's like doing like the. No, it's like a full
the wires.
Oh,
she goes
I thought
around
like
the NRG Stadium. She's like looping around the whole.
I've never seen like the videos of her like just like going around in circles.
I just always remember her like on the scarves that hang.
No, there's some songs, but that's like the low key songs.
Oh,
but there's some songs where she's like jumping from the roof and like.
Well, I mean, well, that's my workout. Yes, when I work out, it's a whole lot of Pink because she's got some.
Yes. She's like older than me, which she's like 40 something. So I'm like, God, I need to go work out. So,
well, play her music while you do it.
Yes, right.
Okay, so if you were to write a book, what topic and genre would it be? Because I like that kind of question. But
I would probably start a book and then stop because I have really bad ADHD. But if I were, it would probably be like a murder crime, like a true murder crime thing, because those are the things that just excite me. I do watch, listen to what's called Crime Junkies, and I read her book.
Oh, I didn't know she had a book.
Yeah, she wrote a book.
I did know that.
Yeah, but of course my ADHD kicked in, and I only finished half of it.
Yeah.
So, but no, if I were, it would totally be a true crime. I love like the thrill.
And then like with a good twist at the end.
Yeah, it's a good twist where you don't see where it happens. Like she had me watch
Lover, Stalker, Killer.
Oh yes.
Lover.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
The twist at the end.
No, the crime junkie in me someone said, okay, this is a wild story. So I went into it thinking, and I won't give a spoiler, but I went into it thinking, okay, what would be wild about this story? And I was right.
You were? I was
like, this is and I doubted myself. I'm like, this is kind of crazy if this is how it turns out. And
sure enough it was.
I was over here like Snapchatting her. Oh my God.
I was like, I told you.
And then I was like myself. I'm like, yes, I could really. I missed my calling. I should have been detective.
My husband actually like sent me something that was like, if your wife calms down to crime, you need to be concerned. Yeah. And Dennis is like, do you need to see a therapist? I was like, just know if you do mess with me, I know how to hide a body now.
Yeah.
Oh, like,
yeah. 1,000%.
And we know what not to do.
Yeah.
That's great.
We love a good murder.
We love a good murder. Teachers love good murders.
Yes. Slay all day. Do you have any pets? And if so, which one is your favorite?
My babies.
Because I have 30 and I have a favorite. So
I
know you probably do too.
I have a cat named Igor. I have a dog named Lacey. And I have a pet bearded dragon named Bruce. I would have to say, sorry, animals, the cat. The cat.
I figured you would choose Lacey. Grace.
I know. I love, because Lacey is a daddy's girl all the way. But Igor is a mama's boy.
And like cats are just chill. Too.
They're chill. Like, he just like wants to come up and just relax and like snuggle with me. And then when he's done, he's done. Like,
he's a really funny cat too. She'll send me snaps of her all the time. She's like, "Look what he's doing now." And I'm like, okay.
Like randomly in the morning, he's up on the top of my bed just staring at me, and I'm like, "Why?"
Half chill.
Yeah.
I think that's how I rate my animals too. Is like the least maintenance, and like the cat, she just kind of
so
like
easy.
I don't even know how she exists. Like
I even got a self-cleaning cat litter box.
Oh, yeah.
I got one for my wedding. I was like, Dennis, we're putting this on our wedding registry list. Game changer.
Our self-cleaning litter box is my daughter.
I love that.
I was like, I don't even look at that.
These are great.
She goes up there and handles it. So. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears and dive into this week's topic. I think creating, choosing, and setting boundaries and friendships can be such a challenge for kiddos. For my oldest in particular, she's very social, very loving, very sensitive. So for her, it's been a challenge accepting that you're not going to be best friends with everyone, and that's okay. And some might just be terribly shy, and making friends in general is a challenge. So what are some points of conflict you've seen in your rooms? Because you guys are at a smaller school, which can be even harder, actually. So, Blair, we'll start with you. What do you notice in first graders?
So their conflicts, first graders. You got to love them because it's just so innocent. It's nothing cruel with first grade. You get them just a little like, they're not playing the game I want to play, so I'm mad at them. And so it's always at recess.
Yeah.
I feel like, when they're having that time, the free time, is when all the arguments begin. So, yeah, no, you'll get the whole, they're not playing what I want to play, so I'm mad. I'm going to come tell on you. But then you have to tell them, like, well, do you want to play their game? Well, no, I want to play my game. I said, well, you have to learn. You can't force somebody to play a game they don't want to play. So I go tell them, I was like, play their game. If you don't want to, that's fine. Go find someone else.
Yeah.
Because we're such a small school, like recess is first, second, and third grade together because we are such a small school. And I'm like, look at all of these kids. I'm like, go find someone. I know for a fact that someone's going to want to play your game. If not, someone might be playing a game you want to play.
Right. It's always a give or take.
Yes. Yeah. And then 2 minutes later, they're
hunky-dory.
Yeah. And then, you get your ones. They're looking at me when I'm answering the question. I'm like, I'm looking at you. Like,
they think you're impressive.
Yeah.
They want to hear what you have to say.
They want to hear your answer. Yeah. And it's so silly. Yeah. Like, there's nothing cruel about first grade at all.
But I also think, like, it's one of those scenarios where it's harder to kind of watch them, but, like, that unstructured playtime, social time, they have to learn those social dynamics amongst themselves. And that's what I try, like, especially with my kids, they're siblings. So I'm like, y'all go figure it out.
Yes.
Exactly.
I cannot be your referee 24/7. Y'all figure it out. And I'm like, if you're treating him rude, then he's going to treat you rude.
Right.
And then it's just going to be
the
the
two
cycle.
wrongs don't make it right.
They never end.
Break
like,
it and figure it out.
I have to tell them, I'm like, go talk to each other first.
Yep.
If y'all can't solve it, then come to me.
Yes.
But even if y'all are just butting heads so much, I have 2 kids that tend to butt heads. And I'm just like, go take a breather. Maybe y'all need just a day apart from each other.
Yes.
Y'all can go play with other people. You don't have to be together 24/7. And they'll do that, and you see them like separate for like 5 minutes, and then the next minute they're glued to the hips again. And
that's all I needed, which is a little break.
They just need a little break from each other, and that's okay because we are such a small group. Like that's 15 kids in a class. Like we're like brothers and sisters. Like you said earlier, like you're gonna fight. And that's okay. Like there's gonna be disagreements. You can't get along
every day with every person.
Yes.
Because, I mean, that's not how it happens in the real world.
No, that's not.
Because you'll think about your work life or your social life or, you know, whatever your kids are doing, and you have to be friends with their parents, and it's like, you're not going to be you know, with everybody.
Yeah. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay.
Yes. And that's what I try to tell 3rd grade. I was like, like you said, it's okay not to like everybody. You're going to come into different people with different views and different thoughts, and that's okay. You don't have to like them, but we will be respectful.
Right.
We will be kind. I think that's part of the bonus of being at the school we're at, being at the Catholic school, that we do get to teach how to treat people with kindness and respect based on our religion. So I think that's pretty big and powerful, because when there are kids that are acting a fool some days, it's, are you being Christ-like?
Yeah.
Well, how would Jesus say, ooh, no, you can't play with me? Well, no, he wouldn't say that. Well, we have Jesus in all of us, so we need to... You know, if you tell someone who you can't play with me, that's like you telling Jesus, ew, gross, you can't play with me type situation. And so that kind of shines a little bit of a light in those situations.
Yeah, because, I mean, we obviously want you to be able to grant grace and patience with somebody else.
Absolutely.
And she's had some challenging situations, my daughter, before, where she's like, oh, so-and-so did this, and that was just bad. I'm like, okay, well, why do you think they might have done that?
Right.
You know, what's the underlying issue might be? Like, we don't know, but what might it be? And then that kind of teaches them to kind of pause and say, oh, well, maybe they had this going on at home.
Yes.
And this is how they're acting at school.
Somebody's having a bad day.
Right.
Maybe they need a friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. I try to remind that, because I was the kid that had just a not normal home life. And so I tried to remind my class, I was like, you don't know if somebody, you know, tripped and fell in the morning on the way to school. You don't know if they got shouted at by their parents before they came into school, just, you know, started a rough morning, and then their whole day has just went to garbage.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just to keep that in mind, that we don't know what's going on in people's homes and outside of this classroom, really.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes hard for people to stop and reflect on.
Especially the little ones. But that's when our job is as a teacher, to come in and like see those days when the kids are off and pull them to the side and figure out like what's going on,
what do you need,
and be their happy place.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, luckily there's a lot of kids that live in that bliss, ignorant bliss, because they're like, they don't even think about, well, you don't even have food on your table last night, or you didn't have your mommy helping you get up and get dressed this morning. You had to go catch the bus by yourself.
Right.
Or, you know, you're worried about going home and getting in trouble, you know. And so I think the more we have these types of conversations and we open it up, you know, shed some light on making more compassionate kids, which is what we all strive for, right?
We need a lot more of that in the world, for sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it's hard for our littles to see outside their peer bubble at these ages and beyond. We won't even get into like junior high and high school yet, because I'm scared. But
that is terrifying.
One of my best friends is an 8th grade teacher, and she's been an 8th grade teacher forever. And I was like, I do not know how you do it. Give me kindergartners all day long. But
I'll say, I think you have to be special to do pre-K, kinder. I think you're put in a place where you belong, because it takes a strong person, I guess, just to be a teacher in general. But really to go from high school, junior high, kinder, those are 90 different worlds.
Because my mom was a high school teacher, and like she would see the things that I was doing as a teacher, as an elementary teacher, and she's like, this is bananas. You know?
Yes, I did have to come in dressed like a penguin today.
Yeah, she's like, literally me the day before Christmas break.
But we love it.
Yes.
Or we wouldn't be where we're at, right?
Yeah, no. We want the kids to be happy to come here.
We wouldn't come in looking like Sir Elton John on a concert night.
Yes.
But I mean, that's what our kids need, are people, that special people, just like nurses and other people, other professions that are just going to be there and greet them and make them feel welcome in the classroom, number one, and then they'll have that confidence to kind of navigate
and be
making
weirdos. I think I think our wackadoo-ness is what makes us stand out from the
No, it really does, because the kids love, like, I had a thing for Valentine's Day, and they had to do adjectives to describe their friends, and all of mine were like, the kids wrote on mine, cuckoo, wild, crazy, funny, weirdo. And I'm like, yes, I am. And guess what? I'm okay with that. And I tell them, I was like, y'all are a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
And that is why I love you.
Yes.
Like, be yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I love
absolutely.
That could be a whole other conversation on embracing your uniqueness. But my daughter has come home and said, like, I'm like a crazy for cat lady. And that's just who I am. I'm like, yeah, girl.
Yes.
Get it. Like, they all have, and then she's like, well, so-and-so loves turtles and so-and-so loves frogs. And, like, we're just all cuckoo for what I'm like, bring it, girl.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. You and your cuckoo-ness. So how can we treat others that are not necessarily our best matches, though, right? Because we all have our own weirdness and we all jive with, other weirdos. But how can we react with others who might be rude or more bullying type behavior? And what are some of your more challenging situations you've seen, and some words of encouragement? As far as finding your pack, finding your
wolf pack.
Yes, your wolf pack. Because we're not going to be best friends with everybody, right?
No. And that's okay.
But I think that's an expectation at some age level.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I told them in first grade, I'm like, you're not going to be best friends with everybody every day. And guess what? That's okay. The world keeps spinning.
Yeah.
You find your people, the ones that you feel comfortable with. And you can see in first grade, they tend to play with the same person every time. Like, they find their people. Like, I have first graders that are making a play, and they like to...
I think they asked Avery to be in the play.
Yeah.
She's like a principal or something.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's Junie B.
It's Junie,
Junie
B.
Jones. Yes, and like they find their little crew, and it's not just for first graders. Like, they bring in
first
second
bring in second
and third graders, and you'll see her kids taking my little ones and playing with them. Like, it's not just your grade. Like,
but like you said, it doesn't matter age, gender, just to, I guess, we just really teach to love everyone. Again, I've told them before, I was like, look, I don't have to like y'all every day, but I will love you every single day. I tell that to my own family, that y'all are on my last nerve, but I will love you for the rest of my life. And so I think that finding that balance and understanding, through all grade levels is important.
And it's about boundaries too.
Yes.
Kind of knowing when, like, someone is being rude to you. Like, no, you don't have to tolerate that. You don't have to be rude back.
Right.
But you just say, hey, I don't appreciate that right now. I'm going to go.
Yes.
Peace out.
Yes.
You can keep doing you.
Yeah, and we've had to have those talks also in third grade that, you don't have to stand there and put up with it, but you can kindly say, I don't like how you're talking to me right now. I don't like how I'm being treated right now. I'm going to give myself a timeout.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, walk away. And I think at the beginning of the year, once we come back from summer break, it's always a little bit rough to get back into that
everybody's
routine.
Been apart.
Everybody's been apart. A play date here or there, but not like on top of each other. And so the beginning of the year is usually the roughest time. And then it slowly starts to fan out, which is good.
They all become a big happy family again.
Yeah. And then they just mature over the years.
They
do. You really do.
You don't, I mean, it's crazy, the maturation.
Been a big year.
Third grade is a huge year, and nobody wants to hear this. Nobody believes me, but I mean, there's a big hormonal jump from second grade into third grade. I'm like, it's third grade, sixth grade, ninth grade. Like, it's that every 3 years that, minds and bodies and attitudes and all that starts changing. So they almost have to learn over again.
Like, who they are.
Yeah. Yes.
And who they want to hang out with.
It's crazy to look at them, because you had my baby. Like,
they were
the
babies
she has this year were my first class.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I still love them with all my heart. They're still my babies. They're complete different kids now. Like,
hey, Miss Ganz,
or like the deeper voice. I'm like, what? Like
5 foot taller.
Like, you're almost as tall as me. This is not okay.
Yeah. But I would say that's why I love third grade though, because they are maturing, so they still have that baby lovey, want the hugs, attention, but then at the same time they're slowly starting to figure out and grow into who they are as they're not adults, but I guess mini big kids.
Preteens.
Yeah.
Preteens, yeah.
Avery thinks she's almost a preteen. I'm like, you still have a couple years.
You got a while.
Some of my first graders think they're teenagers.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start chatting about our book picks, because books really are a magical way to relate kids with a concrete character that they can see and feel, react in situations that might be similar to what they're experiencing, and know that they're not alone in feeling a certain type of way. And so that, in my opinion, is so important. So Blair, can you tell us about your book that you picked about friendship?
Yes. So, kind of piggybacked off of what we talked about earlier. A lot of the stuff happens at recess. Mm-hmm. And a book that I think would work good, that I can use and any teacher can use, and parents, is The Recess Queen. Because you always have those kids that are trying to control everybody at recess and trying to be that boss. Mm-hmm. And that book can kind of tell the kids, like, you don't have to listen to them. And then they're going to realize that no one's going to want to play with that person. Mm-hmm. So I had one a few, years ago, and they eventually learned, I can't do this anymore. No one wants to play with me if I'm trying to control them. Yeah. So they take a step back, and they start playing what other people wanted to learn. I think it's a good book for any grade level, honestly, because...
I would say, that still happens in third grade for sure.
Yeah. I know I've had this conversation
that come in.
With Avery, and, she's like, oh, well, so-and-so didn't do this, and so-and-so didn't do that. And it's like, you can be an example on how you want to be treated and how you treat others. Right. And then they'll be picking up on that. They'll eventually get it. Not everybody wants to just follow me around and do what I say.
Exactly.
And,
they'll get the hint.
Yeah. I'm like, so you just keep doing you, sister, and, see how things play out.
Exactly.
So, right? Yep. And Shana, do you have a book?
I did The Invisible Boy, just because at least, every year there is that student that is quiet and standoffish and not really super outgoing. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little bit harder for them to reach out to make friends. And it always takes, in The Invisible Boy, it just takes that one student to bring that other student in, and then the other students eventually follow, and then the student that was quiet and shy and stood by themselves at recess or wherever now has a whole classroom full of friends to play with, which is great. And then I really like what the illustrator did with that book, because in the Invisible Boy Brian, he's in black and white. And then as friends come along, he slowly gets colored with the rest of the kids in the class. So I thought that was pretty powerful.
Want to use that book this year.
It's so cute. Yeah.
It's especially good to use when you have a new student.
Yes. Yeah.
Because again, our class is so tight knit. When a new person comes in, it can be terrifying.
They're coming into a sibling household, basically.
Yeah, they're coming to a new family. So that is a really good book to use at the beginning of the year for those new friends.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's always the thing that broke my heart the most as a teacher is whenever you see kids being left out, or you see those kids that are nervous and they don't want to hang out with you as a teacher, but when you can see a kid or two will come up to them and help them out of their shell, that makes
but trust me, at recess they sure do like to hang out with us.
I would say we have to tell them to please leave. Teacher time.
Yes.
Teacher time.
Can I please talk to the teachers without you near me?
You mean I can't sit in your lap right now, Ms. Boettcher?
I'm like, you have to be 18 years old. Right now, so thanks, bye. Okay, so the book I chose is called The Not So Friendly Friend by Christina Furnival. And I love this one because it's about setting boundaries with your friends. And I think we always tell kids, play nice, share, be friendly, but that's not always the best for our own kids when they're forced to play with or share with another kid that might not be reciprocating, that same kindness and respect. And as an adult, we don't love making small talk to someone we don't jive with. So why would I force my kids to? Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, my fear is also that kids get left out. So sometimes encouraging them to step outside their normal friend group is great too. So it's definitely a complex balance, right?
Yes, 1,000%.
Okay, so also just a quick resource sneak peek. With every episode, I'll be choosing at least one of the books we've discussed that pairs well with the correlating SEL resource, which is available on our Teachers Pay Teachers page. It will be linked in the show notes along with all the books we've discussed. This week I've created a friendship game to help kiddos reflect on the types of behaviors that make them feel great in a friendship and some that make them feel not so great. So how we can be a better friend by treating them with the same kind of behaviors in return. So again, you can find that in the show notes. Before we go, let's take a minute to share our hashtag teacher win of the week, because none of us are perfect parents or educators, so let's celebrate what went right.
Sometimes days are busy, and teachers, we have like A, B, and C, D that we need to do, and sometimes we don't get to all of them. Let's be for real. We do not get to every single thing we want to in a day.
No.
And I came in a little late, and thank God I had my teacher besties that backed me up today, and they took over my class, and I can honestly say I got to everything today.
Yeah. That is a big win.
That is a big win for any teacher and any parent too. There's all these things you want to get to, and you can't get to them, and guess what? That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't get to all of it. You're going to get there eventually. There's just those days that you just can't.
I thought of one piggybacking off of you. Tuesday folders. So we send folders.
You did your Tuesday folder today.
I did my Tuesday folders on Tuesdays, and there's lots of grades in there.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Last week was a Wednesday. Oh no, last week I didn't do it at all. No, I did. I did a Wednesday folder last week instead of Tuesday.
I did a Friday for a
there
little
was like 4 graded
that
papers
commitment
in
is
there.
like, okay.
No, I didn't do Tuesday either.
I'm normally pretty good, but I have been slacking.
Can I just say that we don't really notice if it doesn't come home on Tuesday?
Okay. See, and I'm panicking.
I don't. Maybe some other people do.
Yeah.
No, I was like, have you been online to check the grades? I'm like, we can do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. My parents are like, my parents are wondering where my Tuesday folder is. I'm like, we'll get there.
I said it in a Tuesday in January. You're fine.
Yeah.
They don't
Yours
understand
have a really big
how
folder.
long it takes to grade papers, y'all. It takes
It's
a
forever.
long time.
First
and then
grade
kids have
writing.
makeup, so you got to go back, and I mean, there's just
Like-
and then the redo thing.
Yes.
That used to drive me crazy when I was teaching, because here in Texas, I don't know if it's a Texas thing or nationwide or whatever, but if you make below a 70 on anything, then you have the opportunity to redo it and regrade it. So that just means you're getting up to 70 points.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you won't necessarily fail if you can know, make it up at home, but that's just doubling the I mean, not doubling, but
I was like, it's not too bad, because normally the ones that turn in corrections are always going to be the ones that will turn in the correction. You know what I mean? Like, it's always the same students, and so if they're bringing it in, it usually ends up adding up to a 70 anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
the papers just like
But
stack
it's a lot.
up. They just stack up so fast because you do so many things all day, and you have to have like the paper proof, and it just stacks up higher and higher throughout the day, and your anxiety gets higher and higher. Yeah, it starts leaning. I'm trying to hide a stack that I need to grade before anybody else comes in.
I take my graded work on field trips. It goes home. It sits in my backpack at home in my chair.
Yep.
Do I open my backpack? No. And then I take it back to school.
I will give you a little hashtag one of the week. You actually graded when you were off last week.
That's what I'm saying. I spent my 3 days.
did.
Well, because we were just doing a lot of sitting and waiting, so I had plenty of opportunity. But yeah, those little brochures are so tedious that I was like cross-eyed looking at them. But I did. I got every
did it. I was so
single
proud of
one
her.
graded.
it is
All of them.
Yes, we try to get our stuff done in the morning so we can make TikToks.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, we'll get into that next, because it's been so fun having you guys on. Thank you again. I'm serious. Thank you again for jumping at the chance to be one of our first guests on our first official episode.
Yes,
So do you want to share, before we go, do you want to share your social account you want people to follow?
Our teacher bestie TikTok.
Which is the best one ever.
It is Snickers and Doodles forever.
Okay, so who's Snickers and who's Doodles?
Did we ever figure that out?
You're Snickers, because S, and then I'm Doodles, because of
because
Dougal.
the McDougalls.
Oh,
the kids
Dougals.
used to call her
Yeah.
Doodles. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
And it all piggybacked off because last year she had a student that wrote a book.
Yes, he would make these books, and he called them The Adventures of Snickers and Doodles, and I'm like, say less.
Yes.
And then it turned into a little series for him, and so that's what he would do in his free time, was make little books, and it was The Adventures of Snickers and Doodles, and he would include his classmates as characters. I mean, they were pretty intriguing. Like, I was impressed.
I need to get with him about
I was like,
Yeah,
you need to
no,
get
for real,
some,
they're really good.
published.
But yes, go follow Snickers and Doodles forever, because we got some pretty funny TikToks.
We do have
on
some pretty
TikTok.
funny
Just on
ones.
TikTok, right? You don't have a
Yeah, we
public
don't have
one
an
on
Instagram or anything.
No.
All right, so I think that's it for this week's episode. Thank you, ladies, again for joining us, and thank you guys for listening. I hope you've gained a couple of helpful nuggets for guiding your kiddos or students through forging new friendships, and we'll see you guys next time on the Blooming Books Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Blooming Books Podcast, recorded and produced by Blooming Rose Kids. We've opted to keep our series ad-free, and if you'd like to support our efforts, please consider shopping our own custom-signed Blooming Rose books at bloomingrosekids.com. and our academic materials on our Teachers Pay Teachers page. All of the books mentioned in this episode are also available via our affiliate links in the show notes. We so appreciate you being here and hope to see you next time.